Hi, I'm Flynn Camino.
And I'm Fletcher Camino.
And welcome to Bombs Away.
The movie we'll be reviewing today is called The Creator. It was directed by Gareth Edwards, and it stars John David Washington, Madeline Voyle, Alison Janney, Ralph Ineson, and Ken Watanabe. Flynn.
Yes, that's me. And I would like to discuss the fact that this film is the only, one of the few original films in this big lot that's come out this year. There's a lot of remakes and adaptations. This is the few of the movies that are actually original, and I find it very interesting because it was shot on a very low budget.
Yes.
It was shot on a much lower budget than it should have been, and it has a really good feel to it. It's a very good movie. So
very immersive.
Very immersive. Very
great, fantastic world building, and
hits you in the feels.
Yeah, but we're okay. Anyway, he's speaking YouTube critic now.
I'm good.
All right. So without any further ado, let's dive into some positives.
The first positive I'd have to say would be the actors.
Superb cast.
John David Washington, absolutely fantastic in his role, really good. Madeline Voyle, going really good for the kid. Just one of the best child actors I've ever seen.
Possibly
really
the best, if I'm going to say that.
I know, I like Monster Calls. But very, very well done acting, I'd say. Very good direction of the actors. Really good in that way.
They look like they're having fun.
They look like they're having fun.
They look like they're having fun, and that that they're taking the role seriously. It's not just another job for them. It's very interesting because this is one of the very few movies that I've seen recently that is dared to pick a no-name cast, and like a lot of these people.
Apart from John David.
Well, I mean, they're not no names, but a lot of them are very. They're not big actors by any stretch of the imagination. Like the majority of them are quite
small,
there's quite low-key actors and newcomers to the industry.
Because in movies like Marvel, where every second movie has a huge star, it's just sort of blank now. You assume there's like a group of 5 people who are every single movie, and basically you're just waiting for the next Wes Anderson film to have all of them.
And also, of course, the visual style. I mean, if you've seen the trailer, you get an idea of what it is. It's a superb-looking movie. It'll definitely, probably, I'm putting all my money on it. It'll definitely win the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects. It's just superb. And the fact that it was done on a low budget is just amazing to even think that when it's just so beautiful and
or at least
epic.
get a nomination, definitely, But amazing visual style, really immersed you in the world.
Yeah, fantastic world building. Even for just one movie, you can tell that a lot of care and time has been put into it to make it original, but also recall those sci-fi vibes that we're all familiar with.
And since it was a pretty big flop, it probably will stay standalone.
No shit. Yeah, but it was written as a standalone movie as well, and it's a totally original standalone movie. Yeah, it is just an amazing movie, and I saw it twice. I saw it the first time, and I was just like, "You've got to go see this." And so then we went recently, and we both saw it, so we could sit down and do this review. And it's both times I was just blown away by it.
Yeah, and I really liked how it hit me and you, both of us separately in the feels. Like it really.
Don't stop saying that.
Sorry, it got me where I live. Got me right in the middle of the.
What Flynn's trying to say,
the middle of the meat,
is that it's a very emotionally impactful film.
Got me in the middle of the meat.
What are you talking about?
And even though, as we'll get to in the negatives, it's got some writing flaws. It's got really beautiful writing, and it presents all of the points of views. It lets you decide for yourself, unlike all these new movies that force the message down your throat and makes you swallow it. This one actually makes you think about things.
Yeah, well, actually, this is a very important point, and that people have been saying a lot about. One of the main thing that the critics are saying, and don't listen to the critics. But what the critics are saying is that their big negative about the movie is that it doesn't quite take a stance on what's trying to do. It doesn't quite say whether it's pro AI or anti AI. It doesn't present it that simply. There's a certain character arc of John David Washington, and sort of accepting AI and caring for the main character who is an AI. It isn't quite presented really clearly.
Yeah.
Well, what stance the movie takes on it, and I very much think this is an intentional thing. I think Gareth Edwards was trying to present us with a story, and this is what I love.
Yeah, well, he
I
says
love it
in
when
behind the
movies do
scenes.
this.
He says in behind the scenes that like he was telling a story, and he just saw what messages came up along the way how it came out.
Exactly, it was just very
and because
impressive.
he was going with the characters, was going with the story, and because you're following characters, because you're following their lives, you get a story out of it.
It's very
instead of coming up with a message and then forcing characters to say
Yes, exactly. And then for building a plot around the message. Yes, very good point. It's very much the audience's interpretation. I think it was similar with Oppenheimer. It's like again, it was just a story told quite simply from a person's point of view, and you've just got to decipher what you figure out.
I wouldn't say it was very simple.
Well, no, it's not simple. But I mean, very. 3-hour movie. It's not a simple 3-hour movie. But I think all the people who, the people who watch The Creator, I think every single person will have a very different take on it.
Yeah,
that's the thing that I loved about it, because when I first watched it with a friend of mine, and then when I watched it with you, there was always a conversation afterwards, and we would talk about it, and we were always trying to break down like what the real meaning was behind it. What we both have very different views.
Yeah, well, I definitely think that's amazing, but I think in the upcoming negatives we have to address
the elephants in the cinema. All right, let's go for some negatives. So for negatives, the writing is I mean, there's a lot of
faults.
I mean, it's not necessarily badly written, but there are there's a
lot of unanswered questions. A lot of things, like a lot of big exposition things that influence the story heavily, end up just being throwaway lines.
Because you've got to move on.
Well, wait, yeah. Can you explain that? Because that's very important.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of that.
I mean, it's a film that very much it's one film, it's one sci-fi film that's trying to tell us something with the scope of the entire Skywalker saga, and so it has to. I feel like there was a lot of cutting in this.
That needed to be a 3-hour movie. That needed to be
yeah, I mean, I very much hope there is a longer cut, but it really it's not badly written, but particularly for me the character arc of John David Washington's character was very. Yeah, I just think it felt disjointed. It just didn't feel as cohesive as it shouldn't be. You weren't really up close and personal with the character enough. It didn't really feel like it did enough for the audience to connect with him, and it didn't present him with enough of an arc. And you definitely feel for his character at the end, but it still could have been improved, I think. I mean, it's really well thought out. There's no doubt about that. It's a really well thought out movie, but it feels like there's just some parts that they didn't think about, and then they were just trying to bridge the gap from that point that they did think about to that point that they didn't think about.
Yeah, that's me with writing anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
I can get that, but
there's always gaps. But
I just think
they didn't plug the gaps very well.
Yeah, I think there were flaws, but I think it still is probably one of the most impactful viewing experiences I've had this year. Besides Oppenheimer, I think I put that, second or first in what I've watched this year. That's right up there for me, because I think nothing's really affected me emotionally as much as that.
Oh, yeah,
and
definitely.
That really got me. I mean, I loved Dead Reckoning as an action movie, and I really did, and it was really good. But that one really, as an original film, it was really good.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Much appreciated.
A very a breath of fresh air. And this is why I feel very strongly about this movie, and I've been urging everyone I know to go and see it. And a lot of people I know have gone and seen it, so I really don't understand why it's been sort of a disappointment at the box office.
Well, it's not just your friends,
Well, there's quite a few people there. I have been telling everyone I even remotely know. But, a lot of people have seen it, and it's always been the same. The critics are being very negative about it, but everyone I know has just said it's one of the most powerful movies they've seen this year and maybe ever.
Very confusing and far-fetched and very, very boring. It was my kind of film.
Well, I mean, I think this film is sort of one of those films that sort of, when it comes out, people are all sort of meh about it, but, years in the future, it'll be considered a classic. It just has a very...
No one's going to remember Barbie.
No, I don't think that's a movie that's really going to endure. But it tends to be something that is a good advertising drive in the moment, but it's not going to last.
It's a good ad. It's a good ad, all the pink and the people wearing whatever.
Yeah.
But it's in the future, no one's going to be saying in 20 years from now, Barbie, the movie we all thought of.
No, they're going to be talking about the creator most often.
Yeah.
If there's 2 movies this year that will definitely make it, that'll definitely survive and be remembered as good pieces of filmmaking in any era, it's going to be Oppenheimer and The Creator.
You have a nasty habit of surviving. Well, you know what they say about the fittest?
And that's why I urge you to see, if you're going to see any 2 movies this year, or from this year, then go see those.
Yeah.
Because they really are exceptional.
Well, don't want to go on too long because...
No.
Oh dear.
Yes, well, on that note, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell button.
Ding.
Ding, so you can get notifications when brand new videos come in, which happens all the time. We're coming to the end of this year. We're going to kick off the end of the year, sort of end the year with a whole bunch of extra stuff. We're going to have some bloopers and some little special things from this year, and we're also going to have a big recap video, might be even half an hour long, of where we break down the entire of last year.
Or maybe we break down the film industry, like what has happened this year. Is this year the turning point from horrible churned out woke PC franchises to original new interesting films? Or is it just like last year where they said that would be the turning point and it wasn't?
But it wasn't, yes. That's exactly what I was going to say. But yeah, yes, please like and subscribe if you want to see more of our videos. And until next time, I'm Fletcher Camino.
And I'm Flynn Camino.
And bombs away.